Imagine strapping a camera to your helmet, dropping into a treacherous mountain bike trail at dusk, and capturing footage so crisp, so clean, and so breathtakingly beautiful that it looks like it came straight from a multi-million-dollar Hollywood studio. For years, action cameras have promised us the absolute world, but they always left us completely in the dark the exact moment the sun went down. That is all about to change right now. The action camera market just entered its most vicious, cutthroat, and competitive month in decades. We are witnessing an absolute, all-out war between the biggest tech giants on the planet, and the dust is far from settling. Right now, DJI has its brand new Osmo Action 6 sitting on store shelves, boasting a game-changing variable aperture and professional 10-bit color depth that creators have begged for. Meanwhile, Insta360 shocked the entire industry at NAB 2026 by previewing their highly anticipated Luna series, a Leica-engineered pocket powerhouse specifically designed to destroy DJI's decade-long grip on the handheld gimbal market. Not to be outdone, GoPro completely stunned the world by launching the Mission 1 series, abandoning their classic, decade-old hero naming convention for a massive, game-changing 1-inch sensor. Every single major player moved simultaneously in mid-2026, creating the most thrilling, unpredictable moment the compact camera industry has ever seen. Yet, despite all these massive, earth-shattering releases, the one camera that every single professional creator is actually waiting for hasn't even been officially announced yet. The silence surrounding the upcoming Insta360 Ace Pro 3 is absolutely deafening. And that mystery is exactly what makes this story the most fascinating tech drama of the year. To truly understand why the hype for the Ace Pro 3 is reaching a literal fever pitch, we have to look closely at the explosive, unforgiving new playground it is about to enter. This isn't the same casual market that the Ace Pro 2 stepped into just a short time ago. GoPro's Mission 1 and Mission 1 Pro hit global shelves on May 28, 2026, and they completely rewrote the rules of the game. Built around a monstrous 50-megapixel 1-inch sensor and a completely redesigned GP3 processor, the Mission 1 represents a genuine, undeniable category shift. It proved to the world that users want massive, high-quality physical sensors, not just incremental software updates and digital tricks. At the exact same time, DJI's Osmo Action 6 brought variable aperture and 10-bit color to the table, features that are absolutely vital for professional commercial workflows where action footage must seamlessly match expensive cinema cameras. Then, Insta360 themselves shook things up even further by showing off the Luna series, featuring a 1-inch Leica sensor and an ultra-bright f1.8 aperture aimed squarely at the pocket gimbal space DJI has owned unchallenged since 2018. With all of this groundbreaking hardware already out in the wild and fighting for consumer dollars, the Ace Pro 3 has been forced to sit quietly in the dark shadows. But according to the latest, highly credible leaks, that quiet waiting period is about to deliver an absolute knockout blow to every single competitor on the market. The biggest, most jaw-dropping rumor surrounding the Ace Pro 3 is the inclusion of a full 1-inch 50-megapixel sensor. This marks a massive, uncompromising leap forward by continuing the prestigious Leica co-engineering partnership that Insta360 officially renewed back in March 2025. While the current Ace Pro 2 runs a very capable 1.3-inch sensor, moving to a full 1-inch format is a massive physics upgrade. You simply cannot fake physics with software algorithms. A larger sensor physically captures significantly more light per individual pixel, and that massive difference shows up exactly where action cameras are traditionally pushed to their absolute breaking points. Think about recording high-speed helmet mount footage at late dusk, shooting fast-paced sports inside poorly lit indoor arenas, or navigating fast city riding at midnight. Smaller sensors always have to compensate aggressively in these brutal low-light conditions by artificially turning up the digital gain. That software compensation always costs you something major, whether it is a severe loss in natural texture, blurry shadow detail, or muddy, noisy image cleanliness. By adding Leica's legendary, cinematic color tuning right on top of this giant sensor, the Ace Pro 3 is rumored to hit an astonishing 14 stops of dynamic range. This means highlight and shadow recovery that starts closely approaching the performance of entry-level mirrorless cameras, all packed inside a rugged, pocket-sized action camera body. For professional creators who constantly mix footage across multiple cameras on a single production, this level of image consistency completely changes the conversation. The leaked video specifications for the Ace Pro 3 go well beyond a simple, flashy headline-grabbing 8K resolution. It is true that 8K at 30 frames per second with HDR and professional log profiles is carrying over from previous generations to satisfy the spec sheets. However, the number that actually matters for real working creators is 4K at 120 frames per second in full, glorious 10-bit color. While this specific combination has technically existed in action cameras before, it always came burdened with incredibly frustrating, heavy trade-offs. Creators were constantly forced to deal with reduced color depth, heavily compressed bit rates, or incredibly noisy, muddy slow-motion footage that looked completely amateur. True 10-bit capture at such a high frame rate means your slow-motion footage will grade cleanly alongside professional cinema cameras without requiring hours of agonizing extra color correction work. For context, the competing GoPro Mission 1 Pro pushes the envelope even further to 8K at 60 frames per second and 4K at an insane 240 frames per second. Those are incredibly aggressive, eye-catching numbers on paper, but seasoned videographers know that frame rates alone do not determine real-world usability. How your footage actually grades in editing software, how well the image holds up under heavy image stabilization, and how much processing power it demands from your computer timeline matter infinitely more than peak marketing specs. The Ace Pro 3's deep 10-bit color depth positions it perfectly as the ultimate, workflow-conscious choice for serious editors. Furthermore, the leak cycle indicates that a blazing 1080p at 240 frames per second will also be available for those extreme, ultra-slow motion action scenarios. Beyond pure image quality and resolution numbers, the rumored FlowState 2.0 stabilization system goes way past simple software polish by introducing two genuinely revolutionary, industry-first upgrades. First, the camera features a highly advanced, AI-assisted 360-degree horizon lock. This feature directly tackles the incredibly annoying, gradual rolling tilt that naturally builds up during long helmet-mounted riding sessions or bumpy, high-speed motorcycle rides. Footage often looks perfectly stable on the tiny built-in screen during capture, only to reveal a frustrating, unprofessional diagonal drift during large-screen playback. Fixing that issue in post-production means heavily cropping your image, manually reframing your shot, and wasting valuable creative time. FlowState 2.0 handles this seamlessly before you even open your editing software. Second, and even more importantly, the leaks point directly to the inclusion of a mechanical global shutter. Standard cameras use rolling shutters that scan image frames sequentially line by line, which creates an ugly skew, bent lines, and a jelly-like wobble during fast camera pans or rapid sports movements. A global shutter captures the entire frame instantly all at once, eliminating that digital distortion at the hardware level entirely. This means absolutely no software patches, no digital warping, and no artificial fixes are required to keep your fast-paced action looking perfectly straight, sharp, and completely natural. When it comes to real-world usability, the leaked battery figures place the Ace Pro 3 at an incredible, industry-leading 200 minutes of continuous 4K recording. This is a massive, unprecedented number that deserves far more attention than standard spec sheets usually give it. The brutal truth is, most action camera sessions are never cut short by stabilization flaws or lens limitations. They are almost always cut short by sudden, stressful battery anxiety. Having to constantly swap tiny batteries mid-ride, mid-run, or right in the middle of an intense, unrepeatable session means a broken creative workflow and missed historical moments. A massive 200-minute runtime changes that dynamic entirely. When you pair that long-lasting battery life with a rumored, ultra-fast 10-minute fast-charging system, it becomes undeniably clear that this camera is being custom-built for high-end endurance. It is designed specifically for travel vloggers, extreme motorsport shooters, and ultramarathon runners who cannot afford to stop moving. If you are someone who shoots in low light, values clean audio, and wants a camera that works as hard as you do without dying every 40 minutes. The Ace Pro 3 is absolutely worth holding out for. It is shaping up to be the undisputed king of mid-2026. If you liked the video, subscribe, share the video, and hit the bell icon so you never miss another deep dive into the future of tech.